Hey everybody, Keegan here, and today we're going to be talking about Pet Sematary, Kanye West, Taylor Swift, and the snake debacle. Okay, everybody, so before we get started, I just wanted to say that Halloween's just around the corner, and horror movies are coming out, and they're a dime a dozen and stuff. But Stephen King movies have always been really popular, and especially with my generation, we've been watching these since we were little kids. And Pet Sematary is one of the definite classics. And for those of you that don't know about Pet Sematary, it's basically the story of like a family moves to a town, their cat dies. They end up burying it in this place they're told is like almost like an ancient Indian burial ground. And the cat comes back to life, but it starts like eating birds and starts like eating mice, but like doesn't eat them. It just like tears them apart. And they notice their cat isn't quite right. And their son ends up getting hit by a car or a speeding truck. And the dad buries the son in the cemetery, and the son comes back to life like a dead possessed zombie and stuff, right? And I've talked in videos before that the reason why wanting to bring something back like from the dead because you love it is bad is because once you're done with this life, you need to move on. And so when people grieve for you for like a really long extended period of time, it almost keeps your soul and your energy stuck here. So when people don't learn to like move on and get on with their life, they end up almost like holding that soul hostage. And that's why like the idea of reanimating corpses or bringing people back from the dead or whatever has always been seen as evil, because that soul needs to move on. So Pet Sematary in and of itself, the story is like really deep, because wanting to bring people back from the dead has always been something that humans have wanted to do, because we love one another. But we couldn't help but notice in the trailers for the new movie, I've had some people bring this to my attention, that there is like a cult of children that wear these creepy, like almost like masquerade masks in the new trailer. And they're like animal masks and all kinds of stuff. And these kids are like bringing dead animals into the forest and stuff. And the new movie hasn't come out yet, but the trailer came out for the new Pet Sematary. And a lot of us couldn't help but notice this logo. So this logo is seen in all kinds of stuff, and it looks like a spiral, right? But if you look at the context of horror movie, kids, cult, if you were to look up online like spirals used in symbolism, you would one of the number one things you would find is the symbols that we learned from studying Pizzagate, because with Pizzagate, which people think is an international human trafficking ring, the way these human smugglers and like people that sell child pornography and stuff, the way they communicate with one another is using code. And the code are these symbols. And so you could like walk into, let's say, like a video store and see these codes on the wall, and you may be able to assume that the people that work there know how, you can basically get your hands on this kind of stuff, or people or whatever. So the codes are used, these symbols are used as like a communication tool for human traffickers. And now we've noticed that the symbols are being used in movies and cartoons and music videos and stuff. And there's no way it's a coincidence. Like, the people making these movies know what these symbols are for. There's too much money going into the establishment, into the creating of these products, without them knowing that that's there. So I bring it up because now these symbols, I'm trying to find it here, give me one moment. These symbols now are in everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So this is a Disney cartoon, and this character has the same exact pedophilia logo known by the FBI all over his skin and stuff. So, I mean, there's no way that's an accident. It's the same logo. It's a triangle. It's got the spiral, and it's got the little dash in it. So I'm not trying to say that spirals mean this, right? but with the context, it's a possibility. So I wanted to bring that up. So, and I'm not trying to say that like Pet Cemetery is bad or that you shouldn't watch it or anything like that. I'm just trying to say be aware of these logos while you're watching these movies, dude. Don't just go blindly go into it. For instance, this is from the movie The Lost Boys. This is from the 80s. Yeah. This is a chart that shows all the missing people and all the missing kids in that area in Santa Clara or Santa Barbara. And randomly at the top is this triangle with a spiral on it. There's no way that this is just a coincidence. They know this is a known thing, especially in Hollywood and stuff. So when you're watching the trailer for the new Pet Sematary movie and that spiral just randomly shows up in the forest with the little kids, it's not there because of an accident. It's there on purpose. So I'm just letting you know, and you're not bad if you watch these movies. Just go into these movies being aware of this kind of stuff. And that's just the stuff I can barely explain. Imagine the stuff we're not aware about, the weird symbols. And it's more than just the all-seeing eye or the fleur-de-lis or the checkerboards. But so that was just something I wanted to get into. Another thing, when it comes to symbols, like that's how, like especially the Illuminati and the elites that run the world, that's how they communicate is through symbolism. So one of the things I wanted to bring up was like with celebrities, there's one of the symbols the Illuminati use for celebrities is what's called humiliation rituals. And this brings me into the Taylor Swift and the Kanye West thing, is that with Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Remember when he grabbed the mic from her, he got on stage and he's like, oh, Taylor, I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish. That was when we first started really hearing about Taylor Swift, and him going up on stage, he like ruined her first like big award, that some think that that was her humiliation ritual, and that Kanye West hanging out with his Illuminati buddies, right? Jay-Z and Beyonce and all that stuff. That was him playing in on it. He's like, oh, we putting this new girl through the humiliation ritual. And so here we are, years later after that, and now everything's flip-flop. Like Kanye West is like the low man on the totem pole, and Taylor Swift is like taking over. So I bring up Kanye West because do you guys remember when Kanye West came out of the, like, what was Kanye West's whole like timeline? His mother died from a botched plastic surgery. He made that bet with 50 Cent that whoever sold more records would get to keep rapping and the other one had to quit their career or whatever, and he won that, right? So his mom died. Then he won the bet against 50 Cent, and then he went crazy talking about, he was like in Sacramento or whatever, and he was talking about Jay-Z and how he was in the Illuminati and how Jay-Z, don't put a hit out on me, bro. Don't put a hit on me. Then he went to that rehab place that's like a known rehab, not the Betty Ford Clinic, but it's like something called like Changes or something, where all the celebrities seem to go and then they're not quite right when they get out of it. He goes to that place. Then he went to the Trump Tower. Remember that? He met with Trump right when Trump became president. And when he came out, his hair was dyed blonde. This is all symbolism. So what I'm saying is that Kanye West, either in on it or not in it, Kanye West is being used by the system right now, and they're making fun of him for like his recent visit with Trump and that conference that he had where he was talking about it. The media took what Kanye said, chopped it all up, and then showed it out of context. But if you actually listen to the full interview, some of the stuff Kanye West said was actually pretty good. He said guns aren't bad, illegal guns are bad. Everybody's dissing Trump because he's racist, but black unemployment numbers are like, they're almost non-existent right now. Like, so Kanye West was talking about stuff like to a point is actually kind of true. But they took little snippets and showed him wearing his Trump hat and stuff and just made Kanye look like a fool. So is this like some other weird humiliation ritual? Like, I have no idea, but just, kind of ending on my note about Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift recently, at the AMAs, I believe, where was it? Taylor Swift surprised many by breaking her silence on politics and called for voters to back Democrats in her home state of Tennessee. Celebrity political endorsements are mixed at best, but at least one vote mobilization expert says Swift could have a measurable impact on voter turnout. So that's great. Like, people should be voting. I'm totally all for it. But what's funny is check out this recent picture of Taylor Swift at the AMAs, dude. It's her in front of a giant freaking cobra. Now I know this is like it's just supposed to be art, but she just got all these recent people to like get interested in voting. People think she's in the Illuminati. People think the Illuminati is ran by like shape-shifting reptilians, and then here's Taylor Swift like dancing in front of this giant freaking statue. And the only reason why I really bring it up is, does this look familiar? This is Bohemian Grove. This is where the Republicans run every year outside Sonoma, California, and they worship a fake, like, giant stone owl. And they dress up in robes and stuff. And Bohemian Grove is a totally real thing. You can look this up. But I couldn't help but notice in the comparison, I just felt like these two things were eerily similar. But anyhow, I'm Keegan. And in the meantime, don't roll your eyes at me.